The following voices are AI generated. We hope you enjoy the video.
Hiya, YouTube audiences! It's been a long time since we've had an all-girls chat.
Unlike last year when it was just Dreamcast Amy and Rouge with 4Kids Amy, I'm joining the chat, along with Blaze, current Amy and Rouge, and even Styx the Badger. An 8-girls chat.
Current/Meta Blaze is doing the Christmas shopping instead of me this time. And once again, all three cream, the rabbits won't join us as they're all exhausted from making the Thanksgiving dinner.
I just got done making my Baby Einstein Bach musical adventure review. And my daughter, little Rosie, aka Amy Jr., said her first words, Mama and Dada. That warmed my heart.
I'm surprised none of the other babies didn't say their first words yet. Maybe later after the holidays. Hell, 4-month-olds rarely say a word.
Maybe Amy Jr. is the special gifted child, but I think all 6 of those sweet little baby hedgehogs are equally gifted.
I mean, they all have sonic speed, so they obviously got everything their dad has. When I have kids, they'll inherit my Sonic's powers as well. Is this the chat room? It feels cramped like the treehouse I built to trap Knuckles.
It isn't, sweetie. It's the same chat room my Dreamcast counterpart and 2 of the Amy's were in last year discussing music.
Last year, I sang a cover of a Mariah Carey song, and my Sonic sung a train song out of nowhere. This time, sadly, we're not gonna sing any songs this time, but to make it up to you audiences, we're gonna discuss chick flicks.
We'll also once again discuss our favorite music since Styx is here, and I am curious if what the rest of the girls from each Sonic crew like music or not.
Well, I'm curious what their favorite movies are, mainly chick flicks since there are 2 particular movies we'll give out our thoughts of. It's not an in-depth review, but a little spat!
Shadow, or to be specific, 4Kids Shadow, told me one time he had a dream that he was the godfather of mine and Silver's kids, and Silver hasn't even proposed to me yet. Will I have a litter of cat hedgehogs?
Of course, honey. We're animals, and we have litters. Dreamcast/adventure. Amy had 6 of them. We'll most likely have between 3 to 10 babies or even more if one of the creams were here.
Why are we discussing babies? I wasn't aware of this protocol. Did the government brainwash you all? No, Styx! Why would the government brainwash us? We haven't done any nationwide crimes or anything. We're just catching up with what we've been up to. You haven't really done anything lately, huh, Styx? Ever since I've been ignored by Sega for the past 8 years, I've been watching tons of conspiracy theories and news reports back in the jungle, and I'm scared that all the country's governments are coming after us since we are aliens. I also want a movie to watch. Just calm down and have some tea, Styx. You need to calm down and just think about the good things. We're talking about music and movies. I can't believe current/Meta Shadow likes Sabrina Carpenter just as much as Taylor Swift. That's 2 bland yet catchy singers he likes.
I already knew that since he took me to a couple of Sabrina Carpenter concerts earlier in the summer just before Adventure-era Sonic and Amy's baby shower. She's not as grandiose as Adele, but her music is more like a downbeat lo-fi sounding music you'd hear at a lounging cafe or bar.
Oh, so like Panera Bread where you Rouges have your usual hangouts with each of your Shadows and Knuckles.
Sort of. Only the current Amy and Rouge love both Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter. But all 3 Rouges love Adele. And pretty much all of jazz, funk, and R&B with a sprinkle of rock and roll. But current Rouge in particular is a country fan, hence her sassy Southern belle, tone of voice, and attitude.
Yeah, my Rouge is a fan of Dolly Parton in particular. If we were allowed to do covers, she'd sing 9 to 5, and I would have covered a medley of Taylor Swift songs. All of us Amy's would have sung Mariah Carey songs all year if our terminated channel, Juan AICL, was still around.
And all 3 Rouges would have sung Adele songs, but only 4Kids Rouge was able to sing them. I would have been the show stealer if I sang a little bit of Alicia Keys or Beyoncé with 4Kids Blaze and Rouge.
Okay, girls. Before we review the 2 main chick flicks, let's give out a roundup of our favorite chick flicks, and I have a couple. I like The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants and The Proposal. It's either because of my mid-2000s bias or they're just damn classic.
Believe it or not, one of the highest-grossing movies of all time, Titanic, is considered a chick flick since it is a love story, not just a biographical film of a sinking ship. I watched it with my Shadow and Knuckles a long time ago, and they both cried like a couple of babies, and I thought Amy was a crier.
Now that's spicy. Your Shadow and Knuckles crying? That's rare. Maybe in a year or two, we could review the Titanic movie. My favorite chick flick is Confessions of a Shopaholic due to Silver constantly calling me a shopaholic when we used to shop when we were in the games. I thought he made fun of me at first, but when I saw that movie, it made me feel more comfortable.
Mine has to be either Clueless or Legally Blonde. I remember begging my Sonic to watch movies with me back then, and he was annoyed at first. But once he saw them, he loved them as much as I did. That was also just after we left the games when the 4Kids crew replaced us.
You're gonna be mind blown with this one. While 4Kids Rouge's favorite is one of the biggest movies of all time, my favorite chick flick is one of the oldest, and it's Breakfast at Tiffany's. Audrey Hepburn reminds me a lot of myself as a socialite when I'm not doing treasure hunting or working with Gun.
I love that movie too, but the only thing I didn't like about that movie is the infamous whitewashed character of Mickey Rooney playing a Japanese landlord. If they cast an actual Asian with better writing, or just erase the character altogether, it'd be the perfect old school chick flick, but my actual favorite chick flick is No Strings Attached, since it reminds me of my Shadow and Knuckles taking turns getting with me.
We love Natalie Portman just like the creator of the channel. She's goated, and yeah, Breakfast at Tiffany's is a classic. And if that Mickey Rooney character of Mr. Yunioshi never existed, it'd also be my favorite. But my favorite chick flick is a tie between Crazy Stupid Love and Bridesmaids. What else can I say about those films? They're funny, heartwarming, and the peak of modern romantic comedy in the cinemas. Please don't get mad at me, girls. I don't have a favorite chick flick. I don't have a TV or a phone. You don't have anything? How do you even call us when you're around?
Styx might not afford electric bills or something.
She lives in the jungle, remember? She doesn't live in the city or even a regular house. Styx is a feral jungle girl and isn't really like the rest of us. The only time she was familiar with technology, it was Sonic Boom, but in the past several years, she's been isolated.
I feel bad for you, Styx. You haven't used any technology in a long time. Blame Sega for keeping you out of the spotlight. Then again, all of us girls don't get enough love, especially with the movies.
Hell, I wasn't given a proper story since Rush Adventure on the DS. Current/Meta Blaze wasn't in any meaningful story. She's just a supporting character, but all Blazes are more than that.
Okay, let's not complain about our existentialism. We're here to discuss the two chick flicks Amy from the 4Kids era brought up. Maybe these two will be Styx the Badger's first two movie experiences.
Rouge is right! Wait, how can you not know about technology if you have seen conspiracy theories and news reports recently? I borrowed one of the Tails tablet thingies a while back, but recently, Knuckles told me about the government possibly hunting us down. Since then, I have asked random people more questions about conspiracies. Enough about me! I want to see the chick flicks! A combined 3 hours and 18 minutes later...
There you have it, two chick flicks we wanted to watch again, and they are none other than Ella Enchanted and Mean Girls. Amy and the boys mentioned these movies all year long, and they were from 2 decades ago.
Both of these movies are classics. Mean Girls is so popular, it had a musical and a remake this year, but as a remake, it wasn't as good as the original, yet the songs were good, but let's focus on the original Mean Girls and Ella Enchanted.
Ella Enchanted is a lot more obscure than Mean Girls, and it's a fairy tale parody similar to what Shrek was doing at the time. Not to mention Anne Hathaway was still in her early days as an actress, just after the success of the first Princess Diaries movie. We don't count that god-awful Royal Engagement sequel. It's a fucking piece of shit disappointment.
Now that we got the bad sequel joke out of the way, Mean Girls has a big talented cast as it's produced by the creator of Saturday Night Live himself, Lorne Michaels. Tina Fey is the writer of the movie and plays the teacher, Ms. Norbury.
Ella Enchanted and Mean Girls have a lot more in common than you think. They weren't just chick flicks from 20 years ago, but they're both based on young adult novels. But technically, Mean Girl's original book, Queen Bees and Wannabes, is technically a self-help book, and the original Ella Enchanted book is a straightforward fantasy book that isn't like the movie being a musical fantasy comedy aimed at girls and women.
Ella Enchanted is also a retelling of Cinderella, but with a twist of a fairy giving her a gift of obedience as a baby, and basically with magic. She'll do anything that's told. But let's not talk about the books. We're here for the movies. Let's start with Mean Girls.
Lindsay Lohan plays Katie, a girl who was originally homeschooled for her entire life and had spent the last 12 years in Africa. When she was 16, she began her first day at North Shore High School. She had trouble making friends and was put down by teachers on her first day. She eventually befriends outcast Janice Ian and Damian Lee, who explain the school's various cliques during lunch, and they warn her about the plastics. The insecure Gretchen Wieners, played by the same actress who voiced a certain princess I hate. The dim-witted Karen Smith, played by Amanda Seyfried. And the ruthless Queen Bee Regina George, played by the lovely Rachel McAdams.
Chady was then unexpectedly invited to join the plastics, but Janice hoped to use it as an opportunity to collect information on Regina, whom she accuses of ruining her life. Later that day, Katie becomes infatuated with her classmate Aaron, and Gretchen warned her that as Regina's ex-boyfriend, he is off limits. If I were a human like Katie, I'd go for it.
I knew our Rouge would say that. Regina discovered Katie's infatuation with Aaron and told Katie she didn't care about their relationship. Despite Janice's insistence that Regina is quote-unquote evil, Katie then enjoyed hanging out with the plastics at the mall and wrote insulting remarks about their classmates and teachers in a diary called the Burn Book, but not the kind I thought it was.
Suddenly, at a Halloween house party, instead of talking to Aaron on Katie's behalf, Regina kissed him in front of her and resumed their relationship. Feeling betrayed, Katie fully committed to Janice's plan to ruin Regina's life. My Sonic would never cheat on me, but if it was any other guy that I dated, I'd do the same as what Katie and Janice did to Regina.
We have a montage throughout the months of Katie, with Janice and Damian's help, managing to turn Gretchen against Regina and tricked her into revealing her secrets, broke up Regina's relationship with Aaron, and spent time with him by pretending to need math tutoring, and caused her to gain weight by giving her high-calorie snack bars under the pretense that they are diet food.
After violating the plastics dress code rules by wearing sweatpants, the only thing that fit her, Regina was banished and Katie became the new Queen Bee. What a way to overthrow a ruler in a fucking high school clique of all things. I wish I had one.
When her parents went out of town, Katie threw a house party. She got drunk and admitted to Aaron that she didn't actually need math tutoring. He renounced her as being no better than Regina. Janice angrily confronted Katie for throwing a party instead of attending her art show and declares that she has become as plastic as she pretended to be.
Meanwhile, Regina discovered Katie's sabotage and pasted her own photo in the burn book to frame Katie, Karen, and Gretchen. My favorite part was when she found out the snack bar was fattening her up and screaming after. If that were me, I'd exercise and burn the fat off with Knuckles and the boys.
That scheming witch Regina went further into madness as she distributed photocopies of the book throughout the hallways in school, causing an all-girls riot. Principal Duval and math teacher Ms. Norbury gathered the female junior students in the gym to talk through their social issues.
All those girls fighting in the hallway makes me look calm compared to them. Besides Eggman, I never met humans. I guess they belong in the jungle more than me. Now you know, Sticks! Humans tend to gossip and instigate drama when they're teenagers. At the gym, Ms. Norbury wanted the girls to let out their sorrows and put aside their differences. When Janice revealed her plan against Regina to the students' cheers, Regina stormed out and was struck by a school bus which fractured her spine.
It also turns out that Janice used to be close friends with Regina, and she confessed her crush on her. Since this was the early 2000s, homosexuality used to be a joke and hateful, but this movie shows that the girls were very progressive, not to mention Damian is openly gay too.
As for Katie, she realized a comment she wrote in the burn book had framed Ms. Norbury as a drug dealer, and she decided to take full responsibility for the book, becoming a social pariah. To earn extra credit, Katie joined the school mathletes at the state finals, answering the tiebreaker correctly to win the championship.
You could say Katie was brilliant, but lazy with her choices throughout the movie. The team then arrived at the Spring Fling dance, where Katie was unexpectedly elected queen. She broke the plastic tiara and distributed the pieces to others in the crowd, made peace with those she had wronged, and shared a little dance and a kiss with Aaron.
As time passed by, the senior year began. The plastics disbanded. A fully recovered Regina joined the lacrosse team to channel her anger. Gretchen joined an Asian clique, and Karen became the school weather girl.
Reflecting on the relative social peace that had taken over North Shore High, Katie noticed a trio of new junior plastics, or as I like to call them, the next-gen plastics. She then wondered how long they would last, as she imagined them being hit by a school bus. Katie sure is a psycho with her fantasies. I think Styx would make a great Katie if there was a Sonic-themed Mean Girls.
That wraps up Mean Girls, and it still holds up. However, when Regina threw all the photocopies of the burn book's pages all over the school, you'd think they'd have security cameras. If they did, Katie and the others shouldn't have been in the principal's office in the first place. I guess that even villains in chick flicks have that plot armor.
Probably. Mean Girls is so far my favorite. Too bad not only there was a musical and a recent remake, but a made-for-television sequel as well. Oh, Jesus, another one? Damn it. Anyway, now let's talk about Ella Enchanted. It takes place in the Kingdom of Lumia, and it starts with a misguided fairy godmother, Lucinda Perryweather, played by Vivica A. Fox, bestowed the gift of obedience on newborn baby Ella of Frel, which caused her to instantly and literally obey any command she was given.
And there's a narrator voiced by Eric Idle, who's best known for Monty Python. He explains it like any other fairy tale, and he breaks the fourth wall and speaks in rhyme. Some years later, on her deathbed, Ella's mother warns her daughter not to tell anyone about the gift, for fear that someone might exploit her. Ella is also told there is something in her stronger than any spell.
Then, even more years pass by. Ella grew up, and her dad, Sir Peter, married a wealthy socialite, Dame Olga, who disliked Ella and mistreated her. What a bitch! Ella bumped into Prince Char, short for Charmant, who invited her to his coronation ball. Olga's daughter, Hattie, somewhat found out about Ella's obedience and used it to humiliate her and was jealous of seeing Ella with the prince.
While Kelly Clarkson is an admirable singer, her cover of RESPECT isn't as good as Jennifer Hudson's version, in my opinion. On her journey, Ella rescued Slannon, an elf who wanted to become a lawyer rather than being forced to be an entertainer. They were captured by blue ogres but were rescued by Char. He joined them, intending to avenge the death of his father, and Ella opened his eyes to the cruelty of the laws oppressing elves and giants enacted by Char's paternal uncle, who's played by the same guy that played Wade Whipple's dad from the Knuckles show.
Sorry to be off topic, but I got two things to say. One, the ogres are kind of similar to Shrek when it came to their accents, but they're blue instead of green. And two, I never thought King Edgar is the same guy who went on to being Wade fucking Whipple's deadbeat dad from the underwhelming Knuckles show. For God's sake, he was also Wesley from The Princess Bride, which is his only good guy character we saw, as all his other characters we saw were villains.
Back to the movie, Ella and Char began to fall in love. They traveled together to the capital for Char's coronation. Edgar then learned of Ella's gift from her stepsisters. Knowing his nephew was in love with her, he ordered Ella to murder Char at midnight and to keep this plan a secret.
I already hate that bastard king. He doesn't even deserve the crown. Why? Here's why. Edgar revealed that he murdered Char's father, and the prince's death will make him king. Ella wrote Char a letter, and it said that she had to leave him but couldn't explain why. She asked Slannon to chain her to a tree far off the castle so she could hope to wait out for Edgar's command, while Slannon recruited more elves and giants to protect Char. Lucinda then magically appeared, and Ella begged her to take back her gift. Lucinda was offended and insisted that she remove the gift herself and unchain her. Forced back to the castle, Ella stumbles into the ball making a funny scene. Char took her to the Hall of Mirrors where he proposed. As she was about to stab him, she saw her reflection along with a beautiful vision from her late mother and tearfully commanded herself to no longer be obedient, freeing herself from the gift. Char noticed the dagger, and Edgar arrested Ella before she could explain herself.
And where was Benny this whole time? He was at a dump, and Slannon found him, and Benny revealed that Ella was in the dungeon. So Slannon snuck into the castle, along with a band of elves, giants, and ogres, and freed her. Benny showed them that Edgar had poisoned Char's crown, intending to kill him at the coronation. Ella and the others crashed the ceremony, and a brawl ensued. Sonic, Shadow, and I would have finished the fight fast.
In the scuffle, Mandy turned Benny into a pumpkin, but then she managed to turn Benny human again. As Char and Ella fought off the guards, Ella confessed her love for Char and revealed Edgar's plot. Edgar's talking snake Heston almost fatally bites Char, which he took as evidence of his uncle's guilt. Edgar attempted to proclaim himself king, stupidly putting on the poisoned crown and collapsing. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that King Edgar had a talking snake and that he's a stupid idiot.
Soon after, Char and Ella got married, and Char toasts to a new era of equality among all citizens of the kingdom. Edgar was revealed to still be alive, but disabled and confined to a wheelchair. The cast performed a final dance number of Don't Go Breaking My Heart before the newlyweds rode off on their honeymoon. And I thought Chicken Little was the only mid-2000s movie that did a cover of that Elton John song.
Yeah, that's another thing the 4Kids Hedgehogs forgot to mention in their 2000s video. Movies used to end with a musical number, and once again, thank Shrek for that. Every fairy tale, every parody, and even every cheesy 2000 movie in general was bound to have a pop song or rock song to end the movie.
Ella Enchanted is a sweet and cheesy fantasy comedy. It's not as big and memorable as Mean Girls, but I think it's worth watching, especially if you're into satirical stuff and if you're a fan of Anne Hathaway like us. I gotta confess, Mean Girls and Ella Enchanted are now my favorite chick flicks. Thank you, girls, for bringing me here to watch these movies. I hope to watch all of your favorites soon.
Anytime when it's just ladies' night, you know where to find us, sugar. Well, I guess that should wrap up the video. We talked a bit of music and talked about chick flicks. So, what's next?
I'm going back to my babies and see my Sonic. Rouge, are you coming with me, or are you just hanging out with your Shadow and Knuckles?
Shadow and Knuckles just texted me that they need us since the babies are getting extra cranky for you. I better get more diapers and chili dog flavored milk formula. Ta-ta, ladies.
As for us 4Kids crew, we're going to review Survivor Series.
Not just any Survivor Series, but the newest one with the War Games match with the two bloodlines.
And I better call Silver to get with me and get into the review. And what about you, Meta-era girls? Are you going back into getting in the games?
Actually, we're going to wait until January for new games. For the rest of the month, we're celebrating the holidays, and our Knuckles is already writing a letter to Santa. Well, Tails is writing it since Knuckles can't write.
I am going to find a celebrity to voice Movie Rouge for Sonic Movie 4, as I've already lost hope of being in the third one while Christmas arrives.
Since I'm the only Sticks and I haven't been used lately, you know where to find me. I'll be in the jungle. See y'all later. That was fun, girls. As for you, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared for the review of the 2024 Survivor Series. Go ahead and give us a like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Don't forget to blast that bell icon as we have so many new videos coming out and you will not miss them.
And spread the word. Follow us on TikTok as well. Stick around and stay tuned for more new videos. Once again, our next video is the review of WWE Survivor Series 2024. Now, whose turn is it to say it?
I guess I'll say it. We'll see you all later. Thanks for watching this girl chat. Peace out and rock on! This has been Juan CL Productions. The end.